Okay, here's the story. Last night I got an email about 9 o'clock saying that there was a duck in distress in Ward Park. Well, uh, knowing me, well, you don't know me, but if you knew me, I wouldn't let that rest. So as soon as I finished my work last night about 11 o'clock, half 11, I said to Tessa, there's a duck in distress in Ward Park. And she says to me, we'll go and do something about it. You know, I actually think that says something about Tessa. She's not one of these ones that says, oh, who are you going to get to do this? Or can you ring the council? Something like that. She says, you go and do it. And so that's a good thing, I think, you know, that she knows me so well that I will do something about it. But I went to the garage, got out my fluorescent workman's jacket because it was pouring down. Got into the car, got a big torch with me, took a pair of scissors with me because I heard it was trapped in a net on the edge of the Ward Park island in the middle of the pond or the lake or whatever you call that thing down in Ward Park. So I drove down, it was about half 11, quarter to 12 by now, and I parked at the back of the library and it was pouring down, absolutely pouring down. So I got out and I walked down to the made a little flash there. I wonder what that was. I got down to the Ward Park and my feet were soaking and my trousers were soaking even before I got to the lake. So I walked to the lake where the gentleman told me the duck was in distress and I couldn't see anything and it was pissing down. Oh, I shouldn't have said that, but it was anyway. And I walked the whole way right around to the other side of the lake and I couldn't see it. And I thought, right, well, I better go back and check. So I go back and check again, couldn't see it. So I walked around to the other side again, and I walked the whole way right round the lake this time, and right enough there it was, underneath the tree, hanging upside down by its leg, still moving. The lucky thing is when you shine a torch on a duck, it automatically moves and runs away. So when I shone the torch on this duck, it didn't move. It actually just stayed there. So I thought, bloody hell, now I'm going to have to do something about it because it's trapped there. You know, I was hoping it had saved itself or rescued itself. So I went looking for a stick to test the depth of the water. And I actually had to walk back the whole way to the library to find the stick. So I found this flimsy stick and I walked back to the other side of the pond to try and walk across to it. And I tested the depth of the water and I thought, I better ring the PSNI, the police, just in case somebody sees me from their window and says, who's that idiot out in the pouring rain walking across the duck pond? It would have been me. So I rang the PSNI and I spoke to the Bangor desk and I just warned them that there was a crazy counsellor out just about to wade across the duck pond at midnight. And if you got any complaints, not to worry about it. But the PSNI girl was very good, actually. She says to me, oh, that's okay. She says, do you need any assistance? And I said, no thanks, it'll be okay, I'll do it. So hung up the phone, put my mobile phone in my bright yellow jacket, and it was soaking by this time, my mobile phone, but anyway I dried it off and put it in my bright yellow jacket pocket down there. And I put the stick in and I started to walk into the water with my shoes on, socks on and trousers because I wasn't going to strip off in the middle of the night at midnight in Ward Park. And I wasn't going to take my shoes off in case there was glass in the water. So it wasn't too bad. Actually, the water was warmish. It was up to my knees. So I started to cross the duck pond, gently, cautiously with a stick in hand. And I got about 4 or 5 feet and it started to get deeper. But not only that, the mud started to suck my feet into the ground. So I thought, well, that's okay, I can manage this. So I took another footstep and it took me right up to my knees and sucking mud. And at the same time, the stink of the mud started to come up. You know, the riverbed mud smells like sewage. And just as I was halfway across this lake, in the darkness, with the rain pouring down on me, a huge splash landed right beside me. And it was a dog had jumped in beside me about 10 feet, 20 feet away. And it thought I was having great fun. It jumped in. I turned around to look at the dog too quickly. And I lost my balance and fell in right up to my knees, which lasted up to my chest. Not up that high, but almost that chest. So I managed to pull myself up and turn around and head towards back to the shore again. In the meantime, I forgot about my iPhone, which was sitting in my pocket. And I got it out and it was soaking. but luckily the jacket I was wearing was waterproof, but the pocket let some water in, so I dried off my iPhone, put it back in again. By this time, the girl and her husband had come up, and I told them what I was doing, and the girl volunteered to take the torch off me. And by the way, the light is the screen going on and off all the time. She took the torch off me, and I walked to another place to try to get across while she shone the torch, give me better balance in my hands. I forgot to say when the dog jumped in, I turned around too quickly. The stick broke, and that was what made me fall. Anyway, I walked over about another 100, not 100 feet, maybe 20 feet up, and I found a place that allowed me to walk to the end of the island. But when I got there, the island was about that height. So I had to climb up this island, and what I was climbing on was duck poo. So by the time I got up on the island, I was covered in duck poo. Anyway, I got up to the island, she shone the torch, and I walked along this narrow little ledge right across to where the duck was, and I looked in, and walked up about halfway up the island. There was a duck right enough hanging from it. So I thinking, if I reach down for this duck, he's going to peck my eyes out or something, but I reached down anyway, and the duck was very calm actually, and very fat little duck too, a female mallard duck, nice pretty one. And his foot was actually just jammed in between two wires. If I could show you, his web was jammed in there, and he was upside down. So whenever I straightened him up, the web came out, and so he was able to just sort of swim off. And so I got up again, walked out to this island, had to sit on my bum to get back into the water again, and waded across, and went round to see the girl who was holding the torch, and thanked her by this time. But I was thinking by that time, soaking wet, and my shoes were full of river mud, and it was a great adventure. I made it back to the car, put a seat down, got in the car, and then I got home, and I came in the front door, and I was thinking, and I had to take off all my clothes outside the inside of the front door and make my way up, and it really took me about an hour to scrub all this muck off me, but cost me a pair of shoes and a pair of socks and a pair of trousers. But the duck was saved. Isn't that important? I think so.